A lion dragged out a kangaroo's baby, but refused to harm it. There are times when the natural world behaves in ways that leave us scratching our heads, wondering about the deeper meaning behind those actions. One such incident was recently captured on camera in Australia's vast wilderness. A chilling scene unfolded that stunned even the most experienced rangers. Imagine this: a lion, the undisputed king of the wild, locked eyes on a kangaroo clutching her baby tightly in her pouch. In a heartbeat, the lion charged. Dust rose, branches snapped, and the jungle fell silent. The kangaroo fought to flee, but the predator's strength was overwhelming. And then the unthinkable happened. With a single swipe, the lion dragged the helpless baby from its mother's pouch. Everyone watching expected a brutal end. The mother cried out, leaping in desperation, but she was powerless against the lion's might. The baby, trembling, lay in the claws of death itself. This should have been the end of the story. But what followed shocked the jungle to its core. Instead of tearing apart its prey, the lion paused. Its jaws hovered, but did not close. The king of beasts, with power to destroy, simply stared down at the tiny creature, as if torn between instinct and something deeper. The sun beat down on the savannah, baking the earth and making the air shimmer. A pride of lions lounged in the shade of some acacia trees, their powerful bodies sleek and golden in the sunlight. Among them was a young lioness, whose piercing gaze was fixed on a nearby thicket. She had caught the scent of prey, a lone kangaroo grazing peacefully. The lioness tensed, her muscles coiling like springs ready to unleash. With a sudden burst of energy, she shot off like an arrow, disappearing into the tall grasses. A few moments later, a panicked bleating echoed through the savannah. The kangaroo, a young female with a joey nestled in her pouch, had been cornered. Her heart pounded against her ribs, her breath coming in ragged gasps. She tried to kick out, to scratch, to bite, but the lioness was relentless. The predator's teeth sank into the kangaroo's shoulder, and with a final surge of strength, the lioness flipped her over, pinning her to the ground. Meanwhile, the joey, sensing danger, stirred in his mother's pouch. He nuzzled her warm belly, seeking comfort as she fought for his life. But the lioness, teeth still sunk into the kangaroo's flesh, was ready to deliver the killing blow. Suddenly, a low growl rumbled in the distance, growing louder by the second. The lioness froze, her head snapping up to listen. The sound belonged to the alpha male of the pride, a majestic beast with a thick mane framing his head. He had arrived on the scene, drawn by the commotion. The young lioness snarled, her eyes flashing defiance and a warning. But the alpha male was undeterred. He approached the struggling pair, his amber eyes gleaming with primal instincts. As he got closer, the young lioness finally backed off, allowing the alpha male to take his place atop the conquered prey. The alpha male, now in control, began the ritual of dispatching his prey. He sank his sharp teeth into the base of the kangaroo's skull, delivering the mercy kill that would end her suffering. And as the life ebbed out of the kangaroo, the alpha male turned his attention to the joey. The little marsupial, still unaware of the danger that had passed, continued to suckle peacefully. But the alpha male's gaze was fixed on him, and his next move left everyone in suspense. Instead of finishing off the small creature, the big cat took a strange step back. His body tensed as if preparing for a leap, and then with a swift movement, he reached out a paw and scooped up the joey, yanking him out of his mother's now lifeless body. But Joey, startled by the sudden separation and the rough handling, let out a squeak, his tiny body trembling in the face of the massive cat holding him. The alpha male, ignoring the squeaks, turned and trotted back to where his mate lay. He dropped the Joey gently beside her, almost as if placing him on a makeshift grave. The two lions then began to groom each other, licking and biting as they went over their fur, their actions a display of affection and camaraderie. The Joey, meanwhile, still very much alive, huddled close to his dead mother, his instincts telling him to stay close to her warmth. This strange turn of events left us puzzled. Why had the alpha male spared the Joey's life? Was it a momentary lapse of instinct or a deliberate act of mercy? As we continued to ponder this, the pride gathered around the young lioness, their bodies forming a protective circle around her. She was the future of the pride, and they wanted to shield her from any potential threats. Amidst this display of familial bonds, the alpha male approached the edge of the group, his gaze scanning the surroundings. His senses, finely tuned for danger, were on high alert. The lions are apex predators, ruling their domain with unmatched prowess. Yet they live in constant awareness of potential threats. Ensuring the safety of their pride remains their top priority. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the savannah, the pride moved. They left the carcass behind, a testament to their earlier conquest, and disappeared into the gathering darkness. Only the hyenas, bold scavengers, dared approach the leftovers, their cackles echoing in the twilight as they feasted. The night deepened, enveloping the savannah in a blanket of darkness. The stars twinkled overhead, indifferent to the drama that had unfolded below. Life in the wild is a continuous cycle of predator and prey, of life and death. And under the velvet cloak of night, the savannah became a stage for another drama. A hyena, bold and unafraid, approached the remnants of the kangaroo's body. its keen eyes scanning for any signs of danger. The scavengers, undeterred by the presence of the mighty lions, had come to feast on the leftovers. But as it reached for the carcass, a twig snapped under its weight, alerting a lone hyena to its presence. A tense standoff ensued. Both hyenas circled each other, hackles raised, growling softly, sizing up their opponent. Suddenly, one of them lunged, and the two grappled in the dirt, their snarls echoing in the stillness of the night. The fight was fierce, but the intruder soon found himself at a disadvantage. Outnumbered and outmatched, he retreated, leaving the victor to feast. In the fading light, the alpha male of the pride watched the hyenas from a distance. He knew they posed no real threat to him or his pride, but he also knew they were cunning and tenacious scavengers. So he kept a watchful eye, ready to intervene if necessary. The lioness, sensing her mate's gaze upon her, nuzzled against him, a gesture of affection and trust. Their bond, forged in countless hunts and battles, was unbreakable. The young lioness, still learning the ways of the pride, observed her parents. She saw the strength in the alpha male's purposeful strides, the grace in the lioness's every move. She was eager to learn from them, to grow into a skilled and respected member of the pride. As the moon climbed higher in the sky, the pride settled down. The cubs, full from their evening meal, snuggled close to their mothers, their soft purrs echoing in the darkness. The lions, masters of their domain, ruled over the savannah under the cloak of night. Their presence, both feared and respected, ensured the delicate balance of nature persisted. And so, the cycle of life continued, a testament to the enduring power and mystery of the natural world. Each action, each interaction, a piece of a complex puzzle. That is the African wilderness. From the majestic lions to the cunning hyenas, each player has its role, contributing to the grand narrative of survival. The stars wheeled overhead, silently witnessing the dramas that played out beneath them. The savannah, bathed in moonlight, transformed into a realm of shadows and whispers. The night was alive with sounds, the rustle of leaves, the distant call of an owl, and the reassuring purrs of cubs nestled beside their mothers. The lioness nudged the young lioness, her eyes gleaming with amusement. The cubs, full of youthful exuberance, tumbled over one another, their playful growls echoing in the night. The alpha male, ever vigilant, kept watch over his pride, his gaze sweeping across the horizon, searching for any sign of danger. The night wore on, the hours slipping by like phantoms in the darkness. The pride, secure in their unity and strength, slept under the watchful gaze of the eternal stars. So what do you think? What do you think was the reason behind the lion sparing the Joey's life? Your thoughts matter. Share them in the comments. If you've enjoyed the tale, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with others. Every view, every comment keeps us going. Thanks for being a part of our story.